So, hi everybody. This is a very special podcast, the India Basketball Podcast. It's me, Gopal, along with my colleague Vishnu, and we have a very special guest with us, a former Olympian and an India Basketball men's captain, Mr. Amarnath Nagarajan, who has kindly consented to join us in this conversation today. Hello, Mr. Amarnath, sir. I'm fine, sir. I'm fine. So I hope you've been following the FIBA Asia challenge. What are your quick thoughts, sir? Are you excited about the contest tomorrow? India faces Iran in the quarterfinals.
Yeah. One match and two matches, I could see the way the team is prepared just by my love for basketball and the game I have played. I've played almost 40 minutes against China at least 2-3 times in my 3 years of representing India at top level.
Okay.
And, mainly because our players have the size and the reach and also have the shooting. So this really is responsible for our good performance of late. That is what I think. And in FIBA Asia Challenge also, so far the 3 victories they have made is very wonderful. But we cannot, as I sometimes put to my friends, I said I am a dreamer. I may not talk practical, I need not talk practical. And those of you who know Tamil, I just make a quote. Paravai kandan vimanam padaithan. Right? That the humanity having seen the bird flies, invented aeroplane. Just one is flying over my head now.
Right.
And a quiet thing like that, you may not know the intricacies of aerodynamics. But the engineer who knows it has invented it. Both are necessary. Like now in my situation in life, I am a dreamer, but my dreams are based just not wild dreams. It is based on probabilities, based on my basketball experience, and more particularly love for basketball and love for the country.
Right.
So I feel we are having a very good side now, and coached by Satprakash, Bhaiya, Mera Bhaiya. They are like my brothers. They have played with me shoulder to shoulder in 81 ABC, 82 Asian Games. Satprakash was with me. He is a real fighter. And he had been a coach of the Indian rugby team also many years later. And they played also for India over a decade, 10 to 15 years. They are a very fit person even now. And coached by him, I feel this is the time the Indian team should take wings and to pierce through the barriers. This is a mental barrier. No team need to go inside with the what ranking they have. The ranking doesn't decide the final result. The sports decide the final result. If you want me to quote an example from another sport, take in cricket. Nobody ranked us anywhere near the top during our first World Cup victory, 1982, if I can remember that. Okay. Nobody expected India to win the World Cup in a limited over edition World Cup by India at that time. Because we are known to bat for 3 days without getting out. Without scoring runs.
Right.
But one single performance of Kapil Dev against Zimbabwe, 175 not out. That single performance inspired the whole team. We all know the result. What it has happened is that we have the cup in our hands. So sports has this magic. On the field, what happens? That is the deciding factor.
Right.
And another advantage for the present team, what I see is they all have their beginnings, roots, that is their early childhoods. Most of the players are under very great coaches who insisted on good fundamentals.
Okay.
This is the Indian team is basically at the tall brigade of the NBA. Right? Ludhiana Basketball Academy.
True.
Amritpal, Amjot, Yargir, and of course we can include TJ also.
Yes, TJ Sahi, Bhular, Arshpreet, there's a youngster who's just 19 years old from Delhi University. Even he's a product of Ludhiana Basketball Academy.
Okay. And of course Varanasi, that coach was also a great coach, and Vishesh was from Varanasi. And other people, this Akhil and Rike, they are from Tamil Nadu. I know their coaches personally well, and now they are passionate and insisting on fundamentals. So now these players combining together and with a coach and now having arrived up to now. Arriving up to now is itself not a very easy thing in practical terms. So just to bring together my 3-month practical. Now having up to this, now there is another 3 more matches to bring it up.
Yes.
If they concentrate on 5 things,
Okay.
5 things, which all they know how to take care of, I think India has a good chance of winning the match. First and foremost is we avoid turnovers and losing ball. Second, don't take unhealthy offense shots. The third thing is concentrate on the rebounds. They are your bread and butter. And the fourth point is fall back on defense, quickest time. And the fifth is that you block, you make attempted block on every shot. That is a shot into your life and your dignity. You say that a basket scored is against your dignity. As a character, basketball builds that character fight. So I am not having even my post in front of me. When my landline work, my cell will not work. They are connected. I am not memorizing and saying or seeing and reading.
Correct.
I am seeing it from what I am telling it from what I have seen in the previous matches of
Correct.
India and Iran in 2004 in Sham.
Okay.
So I pray intently for them to come out successful and taste the thing of victory. Because all those things, why I am one more way confident is, Prakash knows all those things. Yeah, we are roommates and we are game mates. We have played so many tough matches together. And he is a real fighter. Prakash is a real fighter. And
Correct.
he don't give in easily as a player. And he must be the same as coach also. Remember fundamentals. Basketball is a game of fundamentals. It will remain as a game of fundamentals. Either you are 10 feet tall or 5 feet short or whatever it is. Because the inventor's ingenuity has made it that way. If you are good in your fundamentals, then you are the winner.
Correct.
If you mess with your fundamentals, then don't cry over the result. The result will ought to be for what that kind of fundamentals is.
Correct.
Concentrate on your fundamentals.
Right.
And bring India to glory.
Right. So I'd like to get Vishnu into the conversation. But Vishnu, Amarnath sir brought out these 5 crucial points with respect to what India should be doing going forward. But I'd just like to get your thoughts with respect to our opponents, not just the teams that India played against. Obviously, we beat Philippines, we've beaten China, and also going ahead versus Iran. What can you tell us about the quality of India's opponents in the previous games and in tomorrow's quarterfinals?
Right. Okay. So as everybody knows, we have won 3 games so far and we lost 2. So the wins, let's focus on the wins first. I mean, China and Philippines are always known as Asian powerhouses. They've done consistently well in all the previous FIBA Asia tournaments, and in the 2015 FIBA Asian Championship, these 2 were like in the final. So basically, China and Philippines, a win over them is definitely a big deal. But we should also understand, the composition of the teams entering this tournament. As we know, China's top players who played in the Olympics, a lot of them were not of this team. And even Philippines, a lot of the players who are professionals playing in the Philippine Basketball Association, as well as their naturalized players, Andre Blach, are not participating in this tournament. Be that as it may, we can't take away anything from the victories so far. We've done well against all these 3 countries. We've had 2 off games against Chinese Taipei and Jordan. But the important point to note, with regard to the opponents that we've faced so far and what we're facing tomorrow in the quarterfinals against Iran, is that Iran has come with more or less a very strong side, almost their full strength team. And they are led by their oldest player, their best player, their veteran center, Hamid Haddadi.
Right.
He's as we know, he's a former NBA player. He played with the Memphis Grizzlies for multiple seasons, and he's also played in the Chinese Basketball Association. He's been an have a lot of good professional experience. So it's not going to be a young squad as we saw with China and Philippines. Although a lot of the older Iranian generation, like the 3 players of the older generation are not playing in this tournament. The average age of the Iran side is 26 years old.
Okay.
They still have, their best players. And, the interesting part is that this is something that is so important. All of the players on the Iran team are playing in their own domestic league. They're playing in the Iran Super Basketball League, which is a very high quality league. And it just goes to show, what regular professional games and professional experience can do to a team. Iran,
Correct.
of course, apart from best players in the tournament, they also have the home court advantage. They're
Right.
playing in front of the home fans, and that is something that is going to be, it's never easy playing an away game, and that will add to the factors which put India in sort of a difficult position.
Correct.
Another thing that we saw in the previous games is that all our offense is mainly run through the front court. 2 of our best players of the big 3 are Amjot Singh and Amritpal Singh.
Correct.
And in this game as well, even our opponent Iran mainly runs their offense through the front court. And it's going to be a battle of the centers, that's for sure. It's going to be Amjot versus Hamid Haradi Amritpal versus Hamid Haradi, and it's going to be very difficult for Amritpal to try and stop him. The thing is, Haradi is 7 feet 2 inches and he's thick, he's huge. He's a big body inside, he has that experience at the highest level playing in the NBA, and he has been their consistent scorer in the tournament so far. He's consistently recorded double-doubles. His defense has been outstanding. He's altered shots, blocked shots. So India is going to have their task cut out for them. But what is also important to note, like what Amarnath sir said, that we have beaten the best in the tournament so far in terms of ranking. We've beaten China, who are ranked 14th in the world. Iran is ranked 25. Although, like I said, the sides are not exactly in terms of full strength. China maybe they don't have those full strength sides. But on any given day, India, after their win so far in the tournament, I think they would feel that it's just a matter of the matchups on that particular day. So anything can happen. We've seen in the qualifying rounds also, we've lost to Chinese Taipei, but we beat China. But at the same time, China has beaten Chinese Taipei. We lost to Jordan, but we beat China. Then China has beaten Jordan as well. So on any given day on the court, like Amarnath sir said, it doesn't matter. All these things don't matter. It's all about the matchup that particular day. Sticking to the fundamentals was valuable. 5 points, turnovers, composure, rebounds, defense, altering shots, and also the mindset entering the game. The mindset is one thing which I think we will definitely, now we feel, especially, with our 3 having so much of experience and 2 of them having played professionally also in Japan, we feel that entering the game, we can match up to anyone. We're not less than anybody. But like I said, it's going to be very difficult because Iran is probably the best side of the tournament so far. It'll be good to watch. I just hope that we get a good start. If we lose, if we concede like a big lead in the first quarter, it's going to be very, very difficult, close to impossible to come back again. So start is very, very crucial, and maintaining it for the game. Like Amarnath sir said, last couple of times we faced Iran, maybe we had like a good first half, but in the third quarter, maybe fatigue, maybe whatever it is, we weren't able to match up, and third quarter they immediately pulled away, and then in the fourth quarter they closed out the game. So this gap day which we're having here is something that we did not have I think in the 2014 Cup we didn't.
That's true. It was just back-to-back matches, right from the lower group onwards. We just kept playing. Yeah.
Exactly. So this gap day is one day of rest. It will definitely be good for us. But the thing is, speaking about Iran again, apart from their top players, they also have a very deep bench. All their players are very experienced, and they played at the highest level in terms of professional games in Iran, and in the Iran league, I guess that is quite good. So their bench is deep, and the thing is, along with the big 3 for India, that is Amritpal, Amjot, and Vishnu, who we know can definitely perform. We need TJ to be putting in those 3-pointers like he did against Kazakhstan. We need Yadvinder to step up on the defensive end and also knock down shots whenever he's open. We need the bench to step up. We need to step up. play, with 3-4 balls, and then in the second half they won't be available. That's not the way to go. We need guys like Rikin Patani, even Ravi, although he's young, he does have experience playing at the highest level in the collegiate level. He was in the final of or semi-final of the All India Inter-University. He's been the MVP of the UBA League in one season. So he does have that experience, and he did show it in the China game. He made some crucial shots. So we need everybody to step up in this game. We need a collective effort, and that's the only way we can match up to this Iran team.
Right, and also interestingly, I just like to put this in is that Robinson, who was part of one of India's legends, and he's still only 33. He has actually played in Iran, and Vishnu, you have yourself interviewed him. And obviously Robinson played in Iran and came back, and I think he dominated immediately after for the Indian team. So definitely Iran's domestic structure is huge. But I'd also like to add the fact that Amjot and Amritpal too have been playing professionally in Japan. So Vishnu, since you're in touch with them, have they told you about how playing in Japan has benefited them? Because obviously these two guys have had a great tournament so far, apart from, of course, Vishesh.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you could see the 2015 Asia Championship itself, when they first started out in Japan, they played there for a couple of years now, and in two different leagues. And right from then, you could see how much they've improved in terms of even the fundamentals, like, making that extra pass, making the right play at the right time. Amjot has expanded his game to sort of like an all-round kind of player, and this is a lot to do with the exposure that he's got in the professional league in Japan. He's a threat in the outside. He can drive the ball inside. He's sort of like a stretch forward, and we were discussing earlier how he models his game around Kevin Durant. So definitely for both Amjot and Amritpal, the experience outside has helped tremendously. In this game, in this tournament also, you can see Amritpal has been very consistent. He's stuck to the fundamentals. He's scored double-doubles in multiple games. Amjot is definitely our most talented and skilled player, I would say. He's like a guy, if he's on fire, then it's going to be, India can ride that boat, sort of, he's the guy who can take the team on his back. And what is, very impressive is that even Vishesh Bigwanshi, I mean, the fact that he's learned the game in India and he's played only in India in the league here, but still at the international level, he's so calm, he's so composed, he never seems like he's under any pressure. He's probably the only guard on the Indian team who we can say that, if you give the ball in his hands in the final seconds, he knows what to do with it.
Correct.
Like in the final minutes of the game. So that is absolutely, his play has been very important for us. Not to mention, I mean, even in the losing effort, I think it was against Jordan.
Against Jordan, yeah.
So it's 34 points.
Correct.
So he definitely has the ability to score. But what is important is all these guys should function together. I mean, it's about taking the open shot at the end of the day, and Iran is not going to make anything easy, right?
Correct.
So if TJ gets an open shot, he needs to knock it down. If Yadvinder gets an open mid-range shot, he needs to be able to knock it down and take it with confidence. That's what Amarnath sir, I think you would agree. Whatever shots you're taking, you're there on the basketball court for a reason. You're there on the floor for a particular time on that particular time for a reason. So if the ball is there in your hands at that time and you're getting a good open shot, you should take it with confidence.
Correct. Actually, Vishnu, good you brought up TJ, because he had like a breakout game, the sort of game we were hoping we expected it to honestly come earlier, but we are glad it did when it did. I think a lot of good things India has going into the quarterfinals, because even Yadvinder came good in the clutch. So now we have at least all the starters who are now comfortable in terms of scoring, and the bench has got reasonable playing time, or at least they've shown confidence. Rikin Patani and Ravi have shown that they can come off the bench and contribute. So I'd like to get Amarnath sir in at this point of time. So sir, if you can give us some historical perspective, because India has already created history by beating China twice and beating Philippines once. Of course, I believe we used to beat Philippines in the 1970s. But has India ever beaten Iran in the past at the Asian level? Can you just give us?
I have seen their team playing. I had no occasion of playing against Iran at all for the Indian team in my 3 years there. But as you said, the record books are not available with me, and I am cut off from basketball in the late 80s. And around 23 years, I have been not on the field. And of course, occasionally seeing some matches and other things and discussing with old friends. But surely I know when we are in the 13th rank and 9th rank, we would have no chance to go anywhere near. They are Asian powerhouses.
Okay.
Sir, in 81 ABC, the 5th position, we had the second best ever. We lost to Philippines by 4 points, 78-74.
Okay.
Even that match is there in my hand. I got 4 points, just 4 points. There are so many matches like that. It has been so close, but yet it has not a victory.
Correct.
Now our players are doing, especially when I heard that China, they have done, nobody talked anything about it. There was no mention in the print media. Only in our social media, I saw, what has it happened? And then immediately went to YouTube and asked the gentleman to download it and save it in a CD to me. And again I ran through it. It's a great thing for us to move forward, to give us thanks. See, that is not the best team, this is not our own. And we have also got another 2 players are playing now, Program and Palpit.
Correct.
Those things are not, which team you have beaten? Now you have beaten China, you have beaten Philippines, you have beaten Kazakhstan. Why not you beat Iran?
True.
So it is to us to think for us, basketball players or basketball followers like all of us, we cannot forget our early childhood coaches, important quotes, like I also, when I've been a collegiate player in my first club team I played. So normally we are very youngsters, 19, 20 years. Most of the time we will be put against services, railways, which are 4 or 5 Indian players.
Right.
So my coach, who is a very, very aggressive person, who never fears anybody of the opponent, they only concentrate on our game and train us fully for that. I tell it in Tamil and give the translation. He used to say when we are facing such tough matches, அரே don't தோற்கிறதுக்கு பயப்படாதீங்கடா, ஆனா ஆப்போனன்ட் ஜெயிக்க விடாதீங்க. Like it is, we are underdogs. So if we lose, what is there? People will say, yes, they are supposed to do that too. But அவனை ஜெயிக்க விடாத, because he is already favored to win.
Correct.
So what happens if you don't make him, allow him to win, then you win. It has happened that we have won sometimes, turned back or whatever it is, our respect and dignity among the public have gone up. We give such a good tough fight even if we lose, that they say that there is a team that has arrived. And many times we have made that, what do you call, setback, to an opponent, that which happens rarely. We have created a team tournament. I wish it happens against Iran for our boys.
Yeah.
What is that, as Vishnu has beautifully put it, I have also observed that. Now perhaps for the first time, we see at least 5 to 7 players are scoring.
Correct. Yeah.
It has never been the case with India team as far as I know. Scoring means not 2 points, 3 points, playing 3 minutes, 5 minutes. At least a double.
Oh. So this is actually interesting. So you're saying back in the day when you used to play or you used to observe the Indian team, there was only 1 or 2 dominant scorers, the rest never used to score?
In the Olympics, 33% of India's done by Ajimit. I'm just quoting one example.
Right.
Everybody supported by Ravi.
Okay.
In the third rank to, I think, Paramjit, the captain, and the 4th was mine. Of course, I had the least of the playing because I was a substitute there. Only 1 match I played in starting time. And that was almost a debut for me in the Indian team, and I was a substitute.
Correct.
So, now all are scoring. And basketball is all about, ultimately we talk about defense, rebound, fundamental, shoot. Get the ball and you are in the right position and you know that from here you have 90% shooting in practice time. Shoot. Definitely you will get it with the 40 or 45%, which is very respectable in the game time shooting.
Correct.
Am I correct, sir?
No, you're right. Actually, this is good.
Forward is okay, 2 things. One thing is some people will do 100% during practice, but during game time they will not lift their little fingers.
That's actually a good point because Vishnu, if this is something even we discussed, right? A lot of the times we used to see Vishesh sort of berating his teammates for not taking that shot when they are free under the basket. Because what we are starting to see is that other teams are realizing that India relies heavily on the big three. So they're starting to pressure them and forcing the others to take a shot. And we've seen, the other guys sort of hesitating for a bit. So do you think that's going to be a factor against Iran? Will Iran, try and double team Amjad, maybe get him off the game? Or do you think they're just going to guard each man in isolation?
Yeah, I think Iran will definitely do their homework. They'll come prepared for the big three, and a lot of their focus will be on the big three. And that is why it's important for the other two guys on the floor to make sure that they are taking their shots. We saw a lot of overpassing, people hesitating. Even like half a second too late, and then there's a man in front of you. You can't do anything about it, and then there's a possession point.
Correct.
So basically, the big three will have their task cut out for them, because Iran will definitely. The thing is with Amritpal and Haddadi, there is still like a sort of a 3-inch difference, both in terms of height and also size. Haddadi is definitely bigger. So India, Haddadi can definitely take on Amritpal one-on-one, I feel. But the other players, Amjad, Vishesh, there will be special attention on them for sure. And that's why the other players we need to make their open shots. There'll be a lot of open shots for these guys, I have a feeling. And they just need to knock it down themselves.
Right. So, and also regarding Iran's own run, I believe they have been undefeated in this FIBA Asia Challenge, and their previous match against Korea was shockingly one-sided. They won by more than a 40-point margin against arguably one of the top 4 teams in Asia. So definitely Iran is playing some of its best basketball that we have seen in recent times. So India has its work cut out. So, right. So
everything was a blowout except for the game against Japan. It was sort of okay, but yeah, they've been really dominant so far.
Right. So we'll have to see if India can continue its giant killing act.
And the thing is, Gopal, you would probably be able to talk better about this. I just want to know, the implications of the implications of this tournament versus going forward to next year's 2017 FIBA Asia Championship.
Yeah. So actually, this is a good question, because this has had many of us quite confused. Because Amarnath sir, I don't know if even you have been following this, but the entire FIBA international tournament structure itself has changed.
Yeah, I have read some of it, but didn't catch up fully. Thought that when it comes, I can give focus to. I will be very glad if you give us some clarity on that.
Right. So this current tournament, the FIBA Asia Challenge, was previously called the FIBA Asia Cup in the previous 2 editions. Prior to that, it was known as the FIBA Asia Stankovic Cup, named after the former Secretary General of FIBA, Borislav Stankovic. So that's interesting, because Mr. Stankovic is the one who modified the FIBA rules to allow NBA and professional players to play in the Olympics. So the whole dream team of 1992 Barcelona would not have happened if it wasn't for him. So anyway, so this tournament, FIBA Asia Challenge, in its previous forms, it first began in 2004. So it's a very recent tournament. So now they have rebranded it as the FIBA Asia Challenge. The only significance of this tournament is that the top 5 teams gain for their zones an extra berth in next year's FIBA Asia Cup. So India, if India loses tomorrow, there is no, then there's no real advantage as such, because you're back to square one. And then India will anyway have to play the Sabah qualifiers to qualify for the 2017 FIBA Asia Cup. But if India finish in the top 5, what it means is that in the Sabah qualifiers that are going to happen after this, instead of just the winning team qualifying for the FIBA Asia Cup, it will be the winning team plus another team as well, possibly Sri Lanka. So and then what happens is, this in turn, yeah, so Sri Lanka will be supporting us for sure. No, the logic behind this is that is to encourage these other teams to give them a chance, because what usually happens is India is always qualifying from Sabah zone, then you have Iran, which is always qualifying from their zone, then China is always qualifying. So this is an opportunity for these other teams to
Yes, some improvements, so they keep doing the improvements.
Right. So that's the significance that the top 5 teams earn for their zones an extra berth in the FIBA Asia Cup. So and the FIBA Asia Cup next year, Vishnu, that's where it gets interesting for especially guys like you, because that is going to feature teams from Australia and New Zealand, the Oceania teams.
Yeah.
So and
We really will be moving into world theatre.
exactly, because the idea is to make it more competitive, the FIBA Asia Cup. And from there is where it gets interesting, because from there the top 14 teams plus 2 other teams will then play on a home and away system. So that is again a very important change.
Popularizing the game more also.
Exactly. And the beauty is that you can actually have teams like China coming to India, then India going to China, and Australia coming to India, India going to Australia. So another advantage of this home and away is that it allows for the facilities to develop in these countries. Because right now India does not have a true international level basketball stadium. So this will force the organizers and our federation to actually develop such a facility. So that's a big takeaway. So, and this home and away system, out of it, the final 7 teams will qualify for the FIBA Basketball World Cup. So that is it's actually a 4-year process which has begun now. So that is the significance of this FIBA Asia Challenge.
It's a very interesting structural change. And to see teams like that coming to India will be great for the fans here.
Yeah, so this is actually more in lines with how it is in football. Even in football, you have these qualifiers and home and away games. That's why you see India playing Guam and all these teams. And also another interesting sort of logic of this is to avoid competition with the FIFA World Cup. Because earlier the FIBA and FIFA World Cup used to be in the same year. So they want to avoid that clash. So which is why the women's FIBA World Cups are still going to be in the same year. So there's no change in the women's side. It's just the men's that has undergone this overhaul.
Right.
Right. So any last words I would from Amarnath sir, if you can just give your concluding remarks.
Simple. தோக்கறத பத்தி கவலைப்படாதீங்க. opponent ஜெயிக்க விடாதீங்க. Don't worry about losing. Don't let the opponent win over you.
Perfect. Right. And Vishnu.
And our prayers and best wishes are from here. We want our Indian team to enjoy that thing. So many followers are there at the game, and they will also relish if India goes to win another just 3 matches. Just one match by one match, and then they will be the championship winners.
Most definitely. And like Amarnath sir said, we have nothing to lose. So they are going against one of the best teams of the tournament. We just need to put everything on the floor, because the whole our entire basketball community is behind the team.
And it's the perfect timing and theatre to express your basketball talent fully.
Exactly.
So I think that's about it. So thank you so much, Amarnath sir, for joining us. It's really an honor for us.
It's a pleasure.
Right?
Thank you very much for speaking.
Thank you. Wish you all the best in your endeavors. May you also win, and if you win the Indian basketball team. One question is there any live telecast of this tomorrow match expected, sir? In any of the channels?
Unfortunately, but Vishnu can maybe share an illegal stream with you. I'm not sure.
No. I'm not very keen on. I'm very comfortable with reading those statistics that comes in my mobile.
Correct.
That's what, because once I need to see the scores moving, I can visualize which player is going and what they're doing. We have been there inside. That is a real it's okay if it is available, and if you also get time sitting in the East, we watch our country move into greatness.
Okay.
Real good